Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a bracelet out of this conglomeration that looks like a big mess right now from products from the Bargain Bead box. But right now we're going to do our encouraging word for today. As the face is reflected in water, so the heart reflects the real person, and that is Proverbs 27:19. And this reminds me of what my grandmother used to always say. She used to always say, pretty is as pretty does. So when I would be acting up. So, you know, your actions speak louder than your appearance, I guess, is what she was trying to say. You can be really cute and pretty on the outside, but if you're not doing pretty things, then you're not pretty. It reflects your real character. So anyway, okay, here we go. So Bargain Bead box this month. At first, I was not sure about it, but I have made a ton of stuff from this box right now, and I'm even using, I know, it's unbelievable, right? The green. So here's what we're going to do today. I've got this kind of laid out like I want it to go, so I don't really want to move it too much, so I'm going to show you what you're going to need, and then we'll go from there. So you're going to need these beautiful pink quartz beads that they put in the box this month. And I'm not sure how many because, like I said, it's laid out very roughly. You're going to need this yellow jade, which is actually quartz as well. We are using a bunch of the purple quartz and the little green bicones. We're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these little leaf beads. That's all I have left, so we're going to use all 5 of them. We're going to use a length of the chain that they sent in the box. We're going to use 3 of these little vine pieces. Again, that's all I have left of them. I'm using 4 of the bead caps. That's all I have left of them. I've got 2 8mm jump rings here. I have 2 head pins and 1 eye pin. And then I have some wire guards and some crimp tubes. So these are 2x2 crimp tubes, 5mm wire guards. I have a lobster clasp, and I have another jump ring here for my lobster to clasp onto the chain, or to go hook onto the chain with. I have the little toggle bar, one of them. I only have the bar because I use the ring in another project. So we're going to use the bar as a charm on here. I have a large ring that all of my strands are going to hook onto, and the lobster will clasp onto. This is like a 16mm. I don't even know where I got this. It's just an open ring, actually. You can use any ring that you have will work. We're going to need some beading wire, and this is, I believe, 7-strand. Yeah, 7-strand beading wire, okay, in a bronze color. And I think that's everything besides your jewelry tools. So I've also got stuff laid out for a pair of earrings to go with this. We'll see if we get time for that in this video. I don't know if we will or not, but if not, that'll be in another video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, what I'm going to do, the chain is going to be its own strand, obviously. But the outside strands and this inside strand, I want to do some variations on them, okay? So it's not all just going to be one thing. And these are going to be, it's going to be a 3-strand bracelet, okay? So what I want to do, and I have a small wrist, so it's definitely not going to be this big. I'm going to grab my ruler out too, because we'll be needing that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by crimping one end, putting my wire guard and my clasp and everything on, and then we'll work from there, because this is going to be 2 sections, and then the others are just going to be 1 section. But this outside layer is going to be 2. It's going to be tiger tail up to here, or bead stringing wire up to here, then this little element, and then bead stringing wire, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to take my lobster and the ring that I'm going to hook my lobster on with, and I'm going to put my lobster on, and then I'm going to just close this ring up. Okay, so just like this. Now, what I need to decide, do I want to attach my wire guard and my strands to this ring right here, or do I need to get a bigger ring to put on there. Honestly, this is a small little ring. This will definitely clasp onto it. And I think 2 pieces of tiger tail should go on there with no problem as well. Or 2 wire guards. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do it right onto this ring. It's an open ring, so if I needed to replace it with a bigger one later, I can. We'll see. So I'm going to take a crimp bead, put it on my wire, a wire guard. Now I have these wires cut. Actually, I need to use a smaller one. I've got 2 smaller, they're about 8 inches, and 1 bigger that's about 10 inches. I probably will not need that much, but I'm using, I want to have enough, so I'm always afraid of running out and not being able to do what I need to do. So I've got them out, and I can always use the little extra bits later in something like a tassel, or, you can do that. So I'm putting my wire guard on and my crimp tube on first, and then my wire guard and my crimp tube went up on there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hook it right onto here. And I know I could open this jump ring and do it in a minute, but I'm just going to do it this way. It's just as easy. All right, so I've got this on here, on this little ring. I'm going to move my crimp tube up. All right, now, I like to take my crimping pliers, and I like to bend this wire guardian in just a little bit. I just feel like it looks better. You don't have to do it. It is definitely not a necessity, but I like to just bend it in there a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my wires are not crossed. As you can see, they're separated. And I'm just going to pull this up tight, make sure there's no, see how this is kind of, that strand is sticking up a little? You don't want that. You want to pull it tight and make sure it's not sticking up above your wire guard, okay? And then I'm going to take my crimping pliers, and with the divot down, you don't want to put that on the top, you want this to lay in it. I'm going to pull up, and I'm just going to mash that down. And when you do that, as you can see, it puts 1 strand in each of those little channels. So then you turn your crimpers 90 degrees, and you go ahead and close it in one of these up here. I always use the first one, and you close it up, and there you have your perfect little crimp. So let me just say, if you're having trouble with crimping, make sure that you are buying good quality crimp beads and crimp tubes, because that, believe me, makes all the difference in the world. It really, really does. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my next piece on. First of all, I'm going to put my chain on. Let me do that. So this chain, the way that it is, it's got these links. And as you can see, this one is kind of doubled right here. It's like a little paper clip almost. But see, it's kind of looped around. Whoops, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. This one is the same way. So I want this to hook onto this one that doesn't have this loopy loop kind of thing going on. So I'm just going to cut one of these off. Okay, so now if you look, see how this just has this single loop? That's what I want. And I'm going to put it right on this jump ring, which means I'm going to have to open my jump ring, but that's fine. And the chain is going to go in the middle, so it's going to be the middle strand. Find the opening on my jump ring. There we go. I should have put it on there a minute ago, but we're going step by step here. So. And I am shaky this morning. I really need to eat breakfast. I haven't eaten anything. I'm kind of hungry, but I'm not going to eat anything for a little bit yet. I'm going to finish this. Okay, so there we go. So we have our tiger tail or bead stringing wire, and then our chain. Now, I need to do the third layer is going to be a continuous strand of stringing wire. And it's going to go on that edge out here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take my wire or my crimp tube and my wire guard, and I'm just going to put it on here. Go up and over and back down through your wire guard. Whoops. My crimp tube's falling off the other end. Okay, now we're just going to put this on the other side of the chain. So right here. Okay, go back through the crimp tube with your bead stringing wire. Okay, make sure, let's close this up just because it's a thing I like to do. Okay, make sure your wires aren't crossed and then there's no wire looping up through the top there, and go ahead, put it in the divot and mash it down. Turn it 90 degrees and close it up. Okay, and there we have it. We've got our chain in the middle and our outside and inside strands. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to turn it this way. So my outside strand is going to go halfway and then have a little focal point and then go the other half. Now my wrist is only about 6.5 inches. So I make my bracelets about 7 inches. And so I got to watch really closely because, you know, this whole 7 inches, if I don't like them loose. This one might be okay loose because it's kind of, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to string it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on one of these little bicones. Get it right on. It needs to go down over that other, yeah, okay. Now let me move this. I don't want to move these beads so much because I kind of need to keep them how they're laying so I can remember what I'm doing. Just want to lay all those out. Okay. So now let's see here. This and this are going to be dangles, and so is this. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and do one of these metal beads. Okay. And then I'm going to do my pink quartz, my yellow, my pink quartz, my yellow, and one more of those, pink quartz and yellow. Okay, so I'm just keeping everything kind of laying flat on here. If I measure that from the lobster to there, it's about 3.5 inches. So if I need this to be about 7 inches, then I have another 3.5 inches to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do my little middle piece here. So for that, I'm taking this, well, wait a minute. I didn't get my purples in like I wanted to. It's so hard having a small wrist. It really is. I'm going to do a purple and a green and a purple right here. I'm taking those two off. I'm going to do a purple, a green, and a purple. I want all the colors to be in both strands. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, so then I've got this little leaf component thing here that I'm wanting to do. And I'm going to take an eye pin and I'm just going to, do I want to use, I think I'm going to go ahead and use these bead caps right here. Yeah, I'm going to do a bead cap, the pink bead, and a bead cap. I'm kind of designing as I go, guys. I'm sorry, but I obviously couldn't make this ahead of time or I wouldn't have the beads to make it. So I just kind of laid it out. And I'm just going to bend that 90 degrees, cut it off, and roll back a loop here. Okay. So here we have a little element in the middle. Now, I'm going to hook these little branches onto each side of this by the little jump ring, or by the little loops that we're making. So I'm going to put one on here. And one on this other end. I always try to open these loops on the wrong way. Okay, one there, just like that. Now what I need to do is measure this and see. So here's what I've got so far. Let me measure. So I'm at 5 inches. So I am going to go ahead and do the same pattern back the other way. But what I've got to do is I have got to attach this right here with a crimp tube and a wire guard. So I'm just going to do the same thing that we've been doing. Come up over and around on my wire guard. And I'm just going to attach it right onto this little link right here. I don't want the extra space. I don't want to have to use the extra space of a jump ring because I want all the space, you know, that I've got here to go pretty much to the beads if I can. So I'm just going to attach it right onto that little connector. Go back down through here and pull tight. I'm going to bend this wire guard in. Pull tight, and then I'm just going to crimp. Now you can't really tell on this part if your wires are crossed or not. It's really, I mean, there's really no way because you've got these beads in the way. So just do the best you can. It will be fine. Turning that vertical. Little fiddly. Wants to spin on me. So let me see if I can hold it like this. There we go. And then just close the crimp. Okay. So there's one side. So what I'm going to do now is the same pattern, this, down the other side. This bracelet is going to be a little bit big on me, but it's okay. It'll spin around a little. It's really, I don't mind that too much. I just don't like him to be huge. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with the wire guardian and the crimp. So we're putting our crimp on, wire guardian on, up and over and around. And then I'm just going to put this directly onto here, just like this. Okay, get it on there. Come on now. What are you doing? Huh. There we go. Why is this wire guardian having trouble getting through? The other one didn't. Maybe I need to take my beading awl. If you have trouble like that with a, sometimes the hole is not completely reamed out, just take your beading awl and ream it out a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take the crimp, come right up here. I'm hearing noises outside. I don't know. The power people are supposed to come today and trim some trees in our backyard off of the power lines. So I keep expecting them. I keep hearing things outside, but they're not here yet. So if you hear truck noises, that might be what it is. Okay. Just going to crimp that down, turn it vertical, and close the crimp up. Okay. So now that I've done that, I've got my whole little middle piece here. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this pattern down the other side. So my purple, green bicone, purple bead, I'm just trying to make sure that the beads go over this stringing wire so it's not poking out somewhere. I could trim it, but I kind of like to go back through the beads with it. I just feel like it's more secure that way. Okay, then we need yellow, pink, yellow, pink. So yellow, pink, yellow, pink, metal bead. This bracelet is going to be way too long for me. Way, way, way too long. I might look at it here in a second and I don't know. It's going to be way too long. And my bicone. Let me measure it. Oh, yeah, it's 8. It's going to be 8 inches, but it'll just be a little loose. That might be okay. We'll have to see. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and crimp this end. Same thing. Crimp tube, crimp tube, wire guard. And I'm not going to insert the ring yet because it is an open ring, and I will put it on here in a minute. All right, pull tight. It is always a struggle for me when making bracelets, especially strung bracelets, to get the right length because I want to put on so many beads. And my wrist just does not allow for very many beads, but they're so pretty. I'm like, I want to get them all on here. And so I just keep adding them, and then I'm like, oh, it's way too big. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this one turns out. I'm trying to get this bead stringing wire down through the beads. There we go. Okay. So wherever it pops out, just pull it out. Okay. And here's what we've got. Now you want to pull it tight, not like, you know, so tight that it's weird looking, but pull it kind of tight. I'm going to bend that in. Just pull it down. Okay. And I'm just going to crimp it. And again, it's hard to worry about the wires being crossed on this end because there's so much in the way that you just have to kind of do your best. It's really hard to even get the pliers in there sometimes, like I'm struggling a little bit. Okay. All right, now we're going to cut this off, and we have a very long bracelet. But we'll see how it works. It may be okay. I don't know. All right, so we're going to work on our outside strand now, which is, is this our inside? No, this is our outside strand. It's very simple. This one is. I'm just going to do the bicone and the metal bead to start, just like we did on the other one. And then I'm just going to layer, or do mostly these yellows. So we're going to go yellow, yellow, 3 yellows probably. Actually, I may, let's see, I need one of these for this end. Okay, so I will have an extra one of those. So I'm going to do yellow, yellow, yellow. I'm going to go all the way up to here with the yellows and then do a green or a purple and pink middle piece and the metal bead there. So I'm just going to stick with the yellows all the way up through here. I want, you know, I want each strand to be different, but I want them to kind of, you know, be cohesive in that they all have the same 3 colors and that they all have the metals in them. So I'm coming up. I want this focal to lay about the same as this focal is. But the thing with this is we're not doing any, we're not cutting it off and doing that. We're just stringing one whole strand. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's go purple, green and purple. Whoops. Purple, green, purple. Just like that. Then I'm going to do, let's see, pink. I'm going to do this bead cap facing the pink bead because I don't have 2 bead caps. So I'm just going to use this one. I mean, I don't have enough to do both beads on both sides. I've only got 2. This metal bead. This bead cap facing away from the metal bead we just put on. This pink, and then purple, green, and purple again. Is this going to work out? I'm going to have to take off one of these yellows just to have enough so that it'll lay evenly on the other side. So I'm taking that off. I want to keep the colors in here. I want the purple, green, and purple, all this in the middle. It's important. Okay, then pink. Bead cap facing that bead. Metal bead. Facing away from the metal bead. Pink bead. And then purple, green, and purple again. And that's going to make it lay correctly. Purple. Green. And purple. Yeah, that's going to be good. Right like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellows. Three, 4, 5, 7 yellows. My metal bead. This one I had trouble getting the stringing wire to go through. Let me poke something in it, see if it's kind of there. It had a little piece of the rice in there. Okay, and my green bead. Okay. Okay, that's going to work out pretty perfectly. And then I need my crimp, my wire guard, and we're doing the same thing, coming up over and around, back down through the crimp, and through a couple of the beads. So just like this, if I can get that stringing wire to go through that middle bead. Okay, there we go. Pull it out on the bottom, pull everything tight. Okay, I'm going to mash this down, pull tight again, and I'm going to crimp it closed. Okay, there we have it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this off right here. And here's what we've got. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm tempted to leave a little bit of extender on here, but in order to do that, I'm probably going to go ahead and trim it, and then, so I'm going to cut it off right even with the other 2 layers. Lay this down. And then I'm going to take this big ring right here, open it up, and I hope that these will go right on here. If they don't, I may have to get a thinner ring. And they are not. So let me pull out a thinner one, because I don't really want to, here's a thinner one. I don't really want to hook them with jump rings, because it's just too much more space that I don't have. So I'm going to put these on, the 3 wire guardians on, or the 2 wire guardians in the chain, just like this. And then I'm going to take this chain, and I'm going to cut this little piece with the loop-de-loop off and have just the regular piece, the little end hanging that's just at the single thing, and I'm going to hang that on. Now, I'm not going to need an extender at all on this, but if I sold it or gave it or whatever, it would need an extender, just because I like to do that so it'll fit everybody. So I'm closing that loop up, and I am going to trim it. I'm not going to leave it that long, so I'm going to trim it right about here. I know everything flies when I cut that. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now on me, it's loose, but it's not hugely loose. I mean, it would be just fine. So there's what it looks like. Okay, and now we're going to do some little dangles. So on this end right here, I've got a couple of head pins here. I've got these little guys. I'm probably mostly just going to use the smaller beads for the dangles. Got a lot of stuff on my mat here. Okay, so actually I'm probably going to need an eye pin for him. I don't really want to hang him just directly on the loop. I want him to kind of dangle a little bit. So I'm going to get an eye pin here. And I'm going to go green bead, yellow bead, and then dangle him right down from that, I think. So let's make a loop. And I might do wrapped loop here at the top. Do I want to do a wrapped loop? I think I do. I think that would look good. So I'm just going to go up and over, rotate this up. I've done wrapped loops in lots of my videos, so if you haven't seen me do it, then I need to do a video just on wrapped loop probably, but this one didn't turn out so great anyway. I'll do the next one. I'll be more instructive on the next one. That one's okay. It's kind of warped. All right, let me cut this off. Tuck this in. If you have a little snaggle, you want to tuck it. It's easy to do with your crimping pliers. Okay, so I'm going to hook onto this end, this little, this little bar piece from my toggle right here. Makes a cute little charm dangle kind of thing. Okay, so there's that. Now, for this one, I need another eye pin. Okay, and I'm just going to put this big purple bead on. So we used eye pins instead of head pins. And I'm going to bend this 90 degrees. So this is how I do a wrap loop. Bend that 90 degrees. Grab it in the bend with your round nose pliers and come up and over and around. And it makes like a question mark. And then you have to rotate your pliers up and then come under. And there you have your loop. And then you just grab with your pliers and wrap. Sometimes these head pins are so thin that you can just wrap it with your fingers, and it's better not to use your chain nose pliers to hold it, and then you just go around and around as many times as you want to, and then trim it. And then tuck that in. Okay, so there's our wrapped loop. I'm going to attach it right on this way. Okay, just like this. And then with my head pin, I'm going to take one of the little green bicones and I'm just going to make a regular loop to hook on to this little dangle right here at the bottom. So I'm just bending it 90 degrees, cutting it off, and rolling back just a little regular loop. Okay, just like that. Open it up, put it right on here, and close that up. So we've got our two little dangles here. So I'm going to lay this out, make sure it's laying flat, everything is where it should be. And then right off of, I'm debating, I thought I might want to do one off of here, but I think I'm just going to do them off of this ring here. I don't want them to be floating around too much. I'm going to take my 8mm jump ring, and I'm just going to put them both on the same ring here, and put them right here on this bigger ring. Close that right up. And there we have it. Those are cute. Okay, so I'm going to clasp this. And again, it is loose on me because I'm terrible at not putting on everything that I want to put on. So it's way loose on me. I probably will either sell it or give it away or something, but it did turn out really cute. So I'm always so bad about doing that. I want to add everything in and then the bracelet comes out too big. It's actually even if it laid like this, it would be cute. So I don't know, it may work out just fine. But anyway, there it is. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make yours smaller to fit your wrist if you actually, you know, I don't know. I'll probably wear it. It's not that loose. It's about an inch, I don't know, half an inch too big. But this is actually pretty if it lays on the top, so I'm not too upset about it. I may put one little dangle. Actually, I think I will do that. And then if it flips to the top like this, it won't matter, because let's put a little dangle on the end of the, just one of the little green bicones on the end of the chain here, the extender chain. So I'm just doing a regular loop, not a wrap loop, and I cut that too long. Okay, so just a regular loop. That didn't turn out a very good loop, but it's okay. And I'm just going to hook it on the end of this chain right here and close it. And that way, if I do wear it and it flops to the top, it's got this really decorative element, so it's not gonna, you know, it won't really be a big deal if it flops around to the top. But this is actually supposed to be the focal right here. So as you can see, I again made it too big like I always do. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and give it a thumbs up. That helps me so much on YouTube. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I will do a pair of earrings to match this bracelet. So, not in this video because it went too long, but if you want to see that video, you need to have the little bell mashed down so it will let you know when I upload. Otherwise, you're not going to know when I upload. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll have all the information for Bargain Bead Box linked in the description box below. And you can subscribe if you're interested. I do have a coupon code. It is Wendy2 that will get you $2 off of your first month's box or $2 off of your order in their store, your first order in their store. I have tons of unboxings of Bargain Bead Box. I've been doing it for several years. And tons of unboxings of things I bought from their sister store. So check those out. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.